Halloween, it means horror. After we see the pixel art games before, it's time for main purpose of Steam Screamfest. It's horror games. Resident Evil 2 Remake is a modern reimagining of the classic 1998 survival horror game, Resident Evil 2. The game bringing the dark, zombie-infested world of Raccoon City to life, with stunning graphics, over-the-shoulder camera angles, and reimagined gameplay mechanics. Players take control of Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield as they navigate terrifying environments, solve intricate puzzles, and combat relentless hordes of the undead. Dying Light is a 2015 survival horror game developed by Techland. Set in a fictional Middle Eastern city called Harran, the game follows an undercover agent named Kyle Crane, who is sent to infiltrate a quarantine zone overrun by zombies. The game features an open-world environment with a dynamic day-night cycle, where zombies are slow during the day, but become more aggressive at night. Carrion is a unique reverse horror game. In this game, you play as an amorphous creature of unknown origin, seeking revenge on those who imprisoned you. Instead of fleeing from monsters, you become the monster, stalking and consuming your captors to spread fear and panic throughout the facility. As you progress, you grow and evolve, gaining more devastating abilities to tear down the prison and exact your retribution. In Sound Mind is a first-person psychological horror game developed by We Create Stuff. Players take on the role of Dr. Desmond Wales, a psychiatrist who wakes up with amnesia in a strange building. As he listens to tape recordings of his clients, he is transported into their minds, facing their fears and psychoses through unique levels filled with monsters and puzzles. Who's Lila is a unique, reverse detective horror game developed by Garage Heathen. In this game, you play as William Clark, who is the last person to have seen Tanya Kennedy before she goes missing. The game's main mechanic involves controlling William's facial expressions to navigate through dialogues and interactions. By manipulating his facial features, you can influence how others react to him and progress through the story. Amnesia The Bunker is a first-person survival horror game developed. Set in a desolate World War I bunker, players take on the role of French soldier Henri Clément, who must navigate the dark, eerie environment while being hunted by a mysterious photosensitive monster known as the Beast. The game emphasizes resource management, crafting, and maintaining the bunker's power to keep the lights on and avoid the monster. Choo-Choo Charles is an open-world survival horror game developed by 2-Star Games. In this game, you navigate an old train through a massive, treacherous island to fight an evil spider train named Charles. You can upgrade your train over time using scraps collected from looting and completing missions. The game features a mix of action, adventure, and horror elements with a quirky, meme-inspired tone. GYLT is a narrative adventure. The game follows Sally, a young girl who is dragged into a twisted version of her town after being chased by bullies. In this eerie world, Sally must confront her fears and worst memories while searching for her missing cousin, Emily. The game combines puzzles, stealth, and action, allowing players to either hide from or confront terrifying creatures. Tormented Souls is a third-person survival horror game developed by Dual Effect. The game features fixed camera angles and tank controls, immersing players in a terrifying mansion-turned-hospital. Players take on the role of Caroline Walker, who must uncover the mystery behind the disappearance of twin girls, Anna and Emma. As Caroline explores the eerie environment, she encounters unsettling monsters, solves intricate puzzles, and confronts her own traumatic past. Yomawari Midnight Shadows is a survival horror game developed by Nippon Ichi. It follows two young girls, Yui and Haru, who get separated after a summer fireworks festival. As they navigate through a dark, eerie town filled with terrifying spirits, players must use a flashlight to find their way and avoid or outsmart the lurking dangers. The game features a heartbeat system that increases tension, and players must hide or use items to survive. Burnhouse Lane is a dark adventure game developed by Harvester Games. The story follows Angie Weather, a nurse who must complete 5 impossible tasks to reclaim her life too. Players solve puzzles, make friends and enemies, and navigate through a world filled with horror and suspense. The game combines elements of classic adventure games, choose-your-own story mechanics, and light survival horror shooting. Decarnation is a story-rich adventure horror game developed by Atelier QDB. Set in 1990 Paris, the game follows Gloria, a struggling cabaret dancer whose career and self-esteem are deteriorating. She accepts a mysterious offer that leads her into a psychological horror story where she must navigate both the real world and her subconscious. Players solve cryptic puzzles, fight disturbing enemies, and explore a world filled with dreams and nightmares. Too Dark is a stealth adventure horror game developed by Gloomywood. The game follows a former detective named Mr. Smith as he ventures into the eerie town of Gloomywood to rescue children who have been abducted by Psychopaths 1. The game emphasizes stealth, with players needing to navigate through dark environments, avoid detection, and use limited resources wisely. The Bad Kid is an adventure game developed by Aluba Studio. It's an adaptation of the popular suspense TV series Cat's Cradle and combines investigation, puzzle solving, and reasoning with original stories. Players take on the role of Zhu Chaoyang, a young boy involved in a suspected murder case. The game features a 3D horror environment with unique designs, focusing on the inner world of the character. Blair Witch is a survival horror game developed by Bloober Team. Set in the Black Hills Forest near Burkittsville, Maryland, the game follows former police officer Ellis Lynch as he searches for a missing boy named Peter Shannon 1. Players must navigate the eerie forest using items like a camera, cell phone, flashlight, and Ellis's dog, Bullet, to track down clues and fend off shadowy creatures. Dead Effect 2 is a sci-fi action shooter game developed by Badfly Interactive. It's the sequel to the original Dead Effect and offers a mix of first-person shooter and role-playing game elements. Players can choose from 3 characters, Gunnar Davis, Jane Frey, and Kay Rayner, each with unique abilities and playstyles. The game is set aboard the spaceship ESS Meridian, where players must survive against zombies and hostile soldiers while uncovering the secrets of the ship. Firework is a Chinese horror puzzle game developed by Shiying Studio. The story is set in a remote mountain village and revolves around an accidental fire at a funeral, which forces the police to reinvestigate a closed case of a massacre. The protagonist, Lin Lixun, a rookie police officer, gets involved in the investigation by chance. As the investigation deepens, the past of the victims gradually emerges, making the case more bewildering and mysterious. Killer Frequency is a first-person horror adventure game. Set in 1987, the game puts you in the shoes of Forrest Nash, a former big city radio DJ who now hosts a late-night talk show in the small town of Gallows Creek. When a mysterious killer known as the Whistling Man returns to terrorize the town, Forrest must use his radio show to take calls from survivors and help them escape by solving various puzzles. State of Decay 2 is an open-world survival horror game developed by Undead Labs. In this game, you lead a group of survivors in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies. Your main objectives are to build and fortify a base, gather resources, and keep your community alive. The game emphasizes strategic planning, resource management, and combat against hordes of the undead. It also features cooperative multiplayer, allowing you to team up with friends to tackle the challenges together. Detention is a story-driven atmospheric horror game developed by Red Candle Games. Set in 1960s Taiwan during the martial law period, the game follows two students, Wei and Ray, who find themselves trapped in Greenwood High School, a place haunted by malevolent spirits. As they navigate the eerie school, players must solve puzzles, avoid supernatural entities, and uncover the dark history of the institution. Dead Rising 2 is a sequel to the original Dead Rising and takes place in Fortune City, a Las Vegas-like resort. Players control Chuck Green, a former motocross champion who must survive a zombie outbreak while trying to save his infected daughter, Katie. The game features an open-world environment, combo weapons, and a mix of single-player and multiplayer modes. GYLT is a surreal underwater puzzle adventure game developed by Spiral Circus. In this game, you play as a diver who is trapped in an underwater abyss. To navigate through the dark and mysterious environment, you can possess various sea creatures, each with unique abilities that help you solve puzzles and uncover long-forgotten secrets. The game features a haunting, monochrome art style inspired by watercolor paintings, creating an eerie and immersive atmosphere. Dead Space 3 is a survival horror action game developed by Visceral Games. The game follows Isaac Clarke and Sant John Carver as they journey to the icy planet of Tau Volantis to uncover the origins of the necromorph outbreak. Players navigate through treacherous environments, solve puzzles, and fight against both necromorphs and hostile humans called unitologists. So that is the video, guys. So which game that you gonna buy in this Steam Scream Fest? Thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.